Welcome to the Little Rock Basketball Radio Show, presented by Stevens.
Welcome to the Embassy Suites Little Rock in West Little Rock. This is the Little Rock Basketball Coaches Show. We're starting it off with Joe Foley, the head coach of the Little Rock women. I am Trey Schapp, and how about that road swing through the state of Louisiana? Thursday night, Little Rock gets a thrilling 51-50 victory with 3 seconds left to go in the game. Tia Harvey steps to the free throw line, the sophomore from Saxe, Texas, and she knocks down both free throws. And we come out of there with a win, Coach.
Well, it's one of the games that I've had, the pleasure of being with some kids that didn't give up, worked their tails off, and didn't know how we were going to win it, but they found a way to win it, and I was excited. It's the first time I've been excited in quite a while, but I thought our team, defensive-wise, played as hard as they could play, and I was proud of them. And I told them after the game, either way, I'd walked in that dressing room and said, y'all played a hell of a ball game. So I thought that, they were fortunate. We needed the W. We'd had a tough road homestand the week before, and I hope we don't repeat that again. Winning 2 on the road and then coming home and getting beat.
Right.
So I hope we take the right attitude and come out tomorrow night and play well. But for that game, that's probably the most complete defensive game we played all year.
You held Louisiana 0 of 8 from behind the three-point line, and I can't remember a game where a Gary Broadhead coach team hadn't hit a three-pointer.
Exactly, and that was one of our main focuses, was not to let them have threes. And we came back against Monroe, and I think they were 1 for 8, so for 1 for 16 from the three-point line is pretty good defense.
When you look at that game against Louisiana, and let's say this, the Cajun Dome, it's a tough place to play because it's so wide open, and the background that you're shooting towards just changes. You guys – sometimes you go down there and you let them shoot when you get there on the night before, but Wednesday you didn't do that. You just kept them in the hotel room. You went in there Thursday for a practice, and they shot a little bit, got used to it. Is there a philosophy that you like to use with that? Sometimes take them in to shoot, sometimes not?
That was more about legs than anything. I was just trying to keep them off the legs. As shorter rosters we got right now, the more legs we can save, the better off we are. So that it didn't really have anything to do with getting in some shooting. It was more about just keeping them fresh. And, from here to the end of the season, I think that the more we can keep them off the legs, the better off we're going to be.
You played Azaria Robinson. You started her, one of the post players that you have on the squad, 37 minutes, 22 seconds. You didn't know if she could give you that kind of output. She gave you 12 points, and then you turn around on Saturday at ULM. She plays 36 minutes, 48 seconds, almost gave you a double-double in that game, 10 points, 9 rebounds. She's starting to kind of come on for you here.
She is, and we needed it's coming on at the right time. We were hoping, she didn't play last year. She was, redshirted pretty well last year and didn't play much at all. And so she hadn't really got the game feel back, and we kept hoping maybe the second semester and maybe by the end of the year that we could get her going. And fortunately, it's turned out that way. She's starting to catch on, and, she's one of those kids that's big enough that every once in a while, just because of her size, you throw it in there and she gets to turn around and gets a drop-step layup, and that's what makes your shooting percentage so much better. If you got a kid that can just catch it and lay it in every once in a while and doesn't have to work real hard, then that you pick up a few baskets like that, and it helps your offense tremendously.
You talked about the fact that your defense held the two teams this weekend one of 16 from behind the three-point line. How about your Trojans? 13 of 25 in the two games from behind the three-point line. They are turning into an outside shooting team.
Well, that's a good thing. And if you can hit, if you got an inside threat, like if Azaria starts playing well inside, that's what opens up that outside. And when they start having to come down and worry about double teaming her and you kick it out, that's the best time to shoot a three. And we're starting to get some of that. And we made some big threes in both games. I mean, we made some threes when it kind of broke the other team's momentum, broke their back a little bit and got us going and kind of kept us in the ball game.
Rosie Potter on the weekend, she was 3 of 5 from behind the three-point line in the game at ULM. She had 22 points on Saturday. The game at Louisiana, she was 2 of 4 from behind the three-point line. Daryl Johnson led the Trojans 3 of 5 from behind the three-point line in that game at Louisiana. She had 14 points, 11 rebounds. That was her first double-double as a Trojan.
Yeah, and, she's a very good rebounder. She's the ones she didn't get, she got a lot of hands on some of them that she didn't get, but we got them because she got a tip and went to somebody else. I told her after the game that's probably one of the best rebounding games I've seen anybody have for us, and she did a phenomenal job. She goes the boards well, and a lot of people don't expect her to shoot the three, and that's what she did in junior college, and she's just now getting comfortable doing it for us, and that's a huge threat when you got a four-man that can step out and shoot a three, and she'd rather do that as play inside any day. So that's something that helps us. Tia hit some big threes against Monroe that helped us a lot, got us going, and Ariel did a good job of hitting threes against Louisiana that kind of broke them. So I thought the three was a plus for us this week.
DJ has really come on since the loss of Kristen Vorns, and you kind of talked to her. You set her down, you brought her into your office, you said, look, I'm going to need you to start shooting the basketball a little bit more, and you can tell that she's worked on her game because she's starting to up that percentage.
Well, and she's taking more shots. She's not being as reluctant, and that's what I told her. I said, you can't turn down shots. I said, you've got to shoot it whenever, because Kristen was giving us a good plus on the point side. Her and that's something that somebody had to cover up. And I think she's starting to see that and starting to get confidence. And like I say, when you can shoot a three on top of that helps.
You talked earlier about the fact that you wanted to save the legs. I mean, you've got 8 players that you took on the road trip. Sally Korema, unfortunately, not able to make that trek into the state of Louisiana. But how about Haley Honecker? You put her in both games. She had to go in a little bit just to spare some foul troubles at Louisiana. Then you put her in at ULM. You also put her in late in the game, and she scored another 2 points. She's tied her career high. What can you say about the walk-on Haley Honecker and what she does that impresses you and the rest of the coaching staff?
Well, what impresses me is anytime you've got a young lady that does walk on and is not getting paid, and I don't think I've ever had a walk-on in 30-something years of college coaching. And, most of them will walk on and say, hey, y'all do this every day? There's no way I'm doing this. I'm done. So after 3 or 4 days, so I don't even really have tryouts anymore and all that. But Haley called and recruited us. She wanted to come here, and I kind of discouraged her. And I tell you this, of any player we got, she walks on the practice floor every day, more prepared, works hard, and every day. I mean, she loves to play. And actually, I'd like to give her more playing time, but that's something that you have to earn. But as far as coming to practice, there's not a kid that's more prepared to practice than she is.
And you can see that. I mean, I go to practice on the road and everything, and I can see it. I go to practice at the Jack. I can see it there. The other thing that impresses me is she and Angelique Francis room on the road. They beat me down to breakfast. I mean, I like to get up early sometimes, but they are already there. They've already eaten. They're ready no matter what it is, if it's to go to a shoot-around, if it's to go into the room for film study, or if it's to get on the bus on a Friday morning and travel to the next place. They're already there, ready to go.
And that's something that they were raised the right way to do those things. It's something that, I want all kids to do, but you can't do it because I don't have them for the first 17 years. So some of them, it takes a little while to get them to understand that. But that's always a good thing when you got somebody like Haley that's not getting paid, and you got some kid that wants to be lazy that's getting paid really well. And I can always say, this kid's not getting a dime, and she's out working your butt. Now, what does that tell you?
Yeah. It's time I need to step up my game.
It's always good to have one of those.
Exactly.
I ain't never really had one, but I love having one.
If you had all of them when they were young, I think Miss Chris would have a few words with you.
Yes. And I've always said, and John, I got this philosophy from John Wooden. I didn't raise you the first 18 years, so, I can't teach you this overnight.
No doubt about it. He's Coach Joe Foley. I'm Trey Schapp. We'll be back with more. We'll talk about some changes to the Little Rock women's basketball schedule. It starts tomorrow. Stay with us.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. Meet new friends or reconnect with some old ones and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Step into the new with a new Chevy. Very well-qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy vehicles. Plus, on select models, current competitive owners get an additional $750 bonus cash. See your Arkansas Best Chevy dealer.
Welcome back to Embassy Suites in West Little Rock. It is the Little Rock Basketball Coaches Show. Embassy Suites Little Rock is in the business district and minutes from the campus of UA Little Rock. Embassy Suites is the official hotel of your Little Rock Trojans. Embassy Suites Little Rock, a great place to stay. Trey Schapp joined by the head women's basketball coach Joe Foley, the Arkansas Sports Hall of Famer. And, Coach, the trek through Louisiana was good. We got a chance, and I know you finally got a chance to sample Don's seafood because Rayana DeGray, who was filling in for Coach Cash, and Coach Cash, we're thinking about you, your father, and everything that he's been going through. But Rayana DeGray decided to bring in Don's seafood after the game, and you had some of their gumbo.
It was very good, and you've been talking about it for a couple of years now because you always go down there, and that's the good thing about going to Louisiana. You can get you some good seafood, and, it's a good time to enjoy it. And, our kids, I think, really enjoyed it.
The other good thing about going to Louisiana and being the radio play-by-play guy is you don't have to watch film. You don't have to, go to film study if you don't want to. I know I'm allowed to, but I can go out and sample these places and find the best places to eat, and my waistline shows that I do that very often.
You are kind of a food connoisseur. I know.
Big Mama's in Monroe. I will miss that place.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I took our trainer and Patrick Walsh, our SID, over there after practice on Friday, and we went there, had a picture with Big Daddy, who was cooking, and Big Mama's is a place to go.
When we went to South Alabama, you went to that seafood place too.
Felix's.
Yeah,
I was worried about Felix's because they were supposed to be getting freezing rain and ice when we were down there. Imagine that in Mobile. There'd be no way to get over there to Felix's.
Really.
But Bobby put us on Felix's.
Yeah, and all these people probably thinking, what are y'all talking about? If you want to go to and eat in Louisiana, you better talk to this guy right here because he goes to all of them.
It's good. It's good. But what was some good eating was on the court in the state of Louisiana, and we got that done. And the game against ULM on Saturday, they were supposed to play Arkansas State on Thursday night. Well, Fant Ewing Coliseum had a roof leak. They had a lot of rain. I'm done with the jokes about that arena. They can make some major improvements to it because it needs it. But they didn't play, and you were worried about the fact that they would have much fresher legs against us.
Well, I'm sure they did, and I thought our kids overcome that well. I thought we got off to a good start. Thought we played pretty steady until we got in a little bit of foul trouble, and that's going to happen with the short bench we got. But I thought our kids played really well, and then we got foul trouble and kind of let them sneak back in it. But then I think after we come out the third quarter and had to use the timeout because I didn't think we had this. They run a new set. We hadn't seen it. And we talked about it and got that stop finally. And then I thought we did a good job of doing a bit, taking care of business, and really got settled down on offense. And I thought we played really good offense second half.
I noticed in the ULM game, Daryl Johnson one time she was tugging at her jersey and she needed a break, so you had to use a timeout to give her the break that she needed.
And that's what we'll do sometimes. And that's not good sometimes because at the end of the game, I always like to have my timeouts for close games so you can use and call timeouts when you need to. But that's one of the things that we'll have to do right now while we're trying to get through this and just use the timeout every now and then to give them a breather.
I don't often do this, but I'm going to do it for ULM. They have a player, Kyron Whittington. She had 25 points against us, and she only played she played 34 minutes, 42 seconds. She was 12 of 25 from the floor, 1 of 1 at the free throw line. She is, I would say, first team all Sunbelt.
Well, there's no doubt. That's zero, right?
Zero.
And she's only a freshman, right?
Yep. Listed as a freshman.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, that's a kid that I think that, every team in our conference would love to have her playing for us. She's that good a player, and she plays under control, but she's so explosive. And like you say, if she's only a freshman, she's learned a lot in a hurry.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, let's get to this week because there have been some massive changes to our schedule. Because the Sunbelt Conference is not allowing us or not scheduling makeup games after we missed 7 games in a row. We missed a lot of conference games, but you have to have 25 to be eligible for the NCAA tournament in the postseason. Your first conference game in the tournament counts towards that 25. So we would be too short. So we found Philander Smith College that we're going to play tomorrow, 6:30 at the Jack Stevens Center. We will play Arkansas State on Saturday. And then we're going to play Champion Christian on Valentine's Day, 6:30 in the Jack Stevens Center. What do we know about those two?
My wife really asked me why we playing on Valentine's Day.
And you said, because I don't want to take you to dinner?
I said, because we want to play in the tournament. So that's all I can say.
Yeah.
We want to get to play in the tournament. And so, it wasn't us really wanting to play that night, but we were lucky to find two teams this late in the year that would even play. Most teams said no. And most teams are rescheduling, so some of them's got 3 games a week right now. And let me just say this again about our great Sunbelt Conference. We're the only conference in the country that I know that didn't reschedule games. So that shows you how on top of things they are. And so I'm going to blast the Sunbelt every chance I get because I'm tired of that stuff. So anyway, we finally found 2 teams, and whatever night they could play, we said we'll play. It don't matter. Y'all pick it, and we'll play it because we've got to play. So we're fortunate those 2 said, yes, we'll come and play, especially at our place.
I was going to say especially at home. And a quick little note about Champion Christian. Louisiana was trying to get them on their schedule. Exactly. And the coach said, wait a second, Little Rock's trying to get me. Do I want to drive to Lafayette or do I want to drive to Little Rock from Hot Springs? Little Rock's much closer.
Much closer. We were fortunate to get it done before they got them.
No doubt. He's Joe Foley. I'm Trey Schapp. We're back to Embassy Suites after this. Stay with us.
Just 40 minutes from Little Rock at the Saracen, it's always fun. Craps, poker, slot machine, lots of money will be won. Come and win or come to eat, mama, get the best steak you ever had. You want to be at the Saracen, heck, you've seen it in this ad. Woo! Saracen, whoa, come to win. Saracen, come to win.
Welcome back to Embassy Suites Little Rock. It's the Little Rock Coaches Show. We want to thank our proud partners, AC Delco, Bumper to Bumper, UAMS, Simmons Bank, Arkansas Blue Cross Blue Shield, Datamax, Arkansas's best Chevy dealers, Stevens Inc., PI Roofing, Pepsi, Tipton and Hurst, Baptist Health, Bell Chevrolet, and Diamond Bear Brewing. Coach Foley was answering some questions during the break, and so I thought about, I could tell the listeners the only way you can get those answers is you have to be here on Monday nights. But I thought, no, we'll let them in on the secrets. And I will tell you this, next Monday, you don't want to be here at Embassy Suites. You want to be in the Jack Stevens Center because we're moving the coaches show to Tuesday night next week because of the game with Champion Christian. Coach, real quick, you brought up a good point. Arkansas State and ULM played this afternoon. Arkansas State won 82-60. But if there are no makeup games, then that didn't count as a conference game today, correct?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And, here you see it in the conference standings. How does that count? Because you said we don't do any makeup games, and you just made one up. So that's how inconsistent the Sunbelt is.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And they don't need to get – they're going to get there, but making that game up had nothing to do with –
Well, it has to do with conference
their conference standings.
Conference standings.
Yeah. ULM has not won a game in the conference. Arkansas State in the conference is now 4-6. UTA and Troy are both 8-2. Here's another one. App State couldn't get to Texas Arlington on Friday. They flew in Saturday because of the weather, so they played Sunday. Mm-hmm. So does that count?
Yeah. And if you go by what they said, we don't do makeup games.
Right.
They didn't say if we'll do them if it's weather. They just says we don't do makeup games.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would like to be a fly on the wall in one of those meetings one time. One question was asked, Pensacola. When will the team head down to Pensacola?
Okay. As soon as we get through playing, we'll play Saturday, play at
Texas State.
Texas State. So we'll stay Saturday night, then we'll fly out Sunday and just go on straight on down to Pensacola.
So the fact that Little Rock could play on a Wednesday or a Friday doesn't have any bearing on that. We just need to take a lot of sunscreen.
Just take a lot of sunscreen, and, again, it's all about trying to get the kids relaxed, legs. They're making us travel the whole month anyway. So, there's no use in us flying back to Little Rock, staying for a day or so, and then turn around and having to fly again. So I'm just trying to get the team as ready as I can for the tournament. And, like I say, we're doing plenty of traveling. When you have to play 2 games before the tournament on the road and then turn around and go to the tournament, it's hard enough anyway. So I'm not going to ask them to get on and off planes and unpack, pack, and all that. So we'll go down to Pensacola, try to get settled in, and get ready to play.
Will you let me throw the golf clubs underneath the bus?
You can throw them under the bus because I'm throwing mine there with you. So.
Another question was asked about some of these makeup games. Philander Smith and Champion Christian are coming to the Jack Stevens Center. The question was raised, if you had to, would you go play at their place?
We were ready to do anything we had to do to get to play. I mean, we're in that situation where we had to play 2 games regardless, and we were fortunate to find 2 schools in the state and 2 that was willing to come to our place and play. And you couldn't have got a better break than what we got, and I sure appreciate those 2 coaches. They respect our program a lot, and they said, yes, we'll help you guys. Matter of fact, I think Champions has to leave on Wednesday to go play. I think they've got like 3 or 4 games that week, and they're just doing it to help us out.
I looked at their schedule. They have a game on Wednesday, so they're playing us Monday, and then they leave. They have a game Wednesday and then a game somewhere else as well.
Yep.
So they are really helping us out.
Big time.
So be kind to them when you see them in the Jack Stevens Center next week, Champion Christian.
Exactly.
Philander Smith's going to make the about 3.5-mile trek along I-40 or I-630 down University to the Jack Stevens Center tomorrow. What do we know about them?
Well, I watched film on them today, and I think they're 15-4. I think they're very athletic, and they're playing well in their conference and doing a good job. They know how to win. I think it's going to be a very good ball game. I think it's us coming in. We had the day to prepare. It's the only day we've had to prepare, so not a lot of preparation. Trying to get who's going to do what for them and what we need to do against them. That's kind of hard to do. It's the same way when we have to play on Thursday and Saturday in the conference. It's hard to get things turned around and get things in their head from a coaching standpoint because you're trying to keep them rested, but yet you're trying to get them ready to play. But that kind of helps you get ready for the tournament also because you got to do the same thing in the tournament. So this time of year, I kind of like it. I'm tickled that we're playing this game. I'd rather be doing that as trying to practice and sit out all week and play A-State at the end of the week. I'd rather be staying in a little bit of a rhythm, playing 2 a week instead of just 1 a week for the next 2 weeks. So I think it worked out pretty good for us.
Especially when you shoot the ball as well as you did this weekend, and your defense was there all weekend as well. All right, let's turn our attention to Arkansas State. Saturday, the game's going to tip off at 2 o'clock in the Jack Stevens Center. It will be the last time that the Red Wolves come to the Jack Stevens Center with Little Rock being a member of the Sunbelt Conference. What do we know about Arkansas State?
They can score the ball. I've got to watch them against other teams, just simply scouting the other team. And, every game I've watched that they're playing the other team is they have scored a bunch of points. They've got a lot of scores, and they're doing a very good job of getting down the floor and getting the ball in the basket. So it's going to be hard for us to stop them.
I noticed today in their game, I watched a little bit of it before coming here tonight, I noticed that they only dressed 9 on this road trip. Is that what you've seen in some of the others in watching them? Or
I haven't paid that much attention, so I couldn't tell you right now until really get down to the scouting. And as you well know, every team changes each week. 1 or 2 players seem to always be out on the other team, or we've had kids out every game just about we've played. So I don't think you can go by a set lineup except week by week.
Speaking of that, can you give us an update on Sally Korma?
She did practice today. It's the first time she's practiced in a week. Naturally, no timing, very out of shape, and said she's having trouble with her knees. So there's nothing I can do about that, and hopefully the rest help. But we'll just kind of have to see how it goes from here.
The Sunbelt Conference standings, let's give you those, ladies and gentlemen. They look like this. UTA on top. Troy is also right there. They're both 8-2, but UTA holds the tiebreaker over Troy. They beat them earlier this season. UTA's won 5 in a row. Troy's won 4 in a row. App State is 5-2. They have a 71.4 win percentage, so they're in third place. Little Rock and Louisiana are both tied at 5-3, but Little Rock owns the tiebreaker there. We don't play the Raging Cajuns again, so we will hold the tiebreaker with Louisiana if we are tied with them. Texas State is 6-4. They are 6th in the Sunbelt Conference right now. Georgia Southern's 4-4. Arkansas State's 4-6, followed by Georgia State, South Alabama. Those two are 2-5. Coastal Carolina's 2-6, and ULM is in 12th place at 0-9. And Coach, the reason I bring up the conference standings is because if you make that top 4, you don't play until Friday in Pensacola.
Exactly, and last year we were right there on the verge, and we lost that last game that we needed to win, and ended up having to play. And then the third game kind of got to us, and 3 in a row is hard to do. And, naturally winning 4 games in a week is really tough, especially with the short lineup we got. So, we need to try to do everything we can to have one of those buys if we can.
So will you talk to your ladies about that once it gets down to the road trip in Texas, when it gets close to where we'll know kind of a little bit more where we are?
You don't have to talk. They already know.
They do?
I'm sure they do.
Have you told them about maybe some extra time on the beach before we get into basketball mode if they get there?
That might be a motivator. I didn't have that last year to use, so that might be a good motivator.
Yeah, the bridge has been fixed.
Bridge is fixed, so we're going back across to the beach. So, yeah, I'd like to have a few days on the beach before we had to play.
And then once you get there and they start playing, you say, hey, ladies, if you want to stay on the beach, you better win this basketball game, or else I'm putting you on the bus and you're going back.
Bus is going home if you lose. It's over. Get out the mothballs and forget about it. So.
This team, it seems like it's starting to really gel.
Yeah.
I thought that you've played some of the best basketball these last 2 games on the road. I'm just wondering what happened when we came back home after beating the 2 Alabama schools.
Well, that first game against Texas State, that's real costly, because that's a game I think if we'd been prepared and done what we needed to do, we could have won that ball game. And they're a good team. They'll be hard to beat on the road. That place is hard to play. They beat us a bunch down there. But that game, if we'd have come out and took care of business and offensively done what we needed to do, and defensively too, I think we could have got that game and had opportunities anyway, but it shouldn't have come down to those last minute or 2 if we'd done what we were supposed to do early. So that is always going to haunt you a little bit. I think UTA may be the best. I know they got one of the best players. That kid can play. That kid inside they got. She's hard to stop. So
number 4
makes everybody else better. I think
Jacobs.
Star Jacobs. Yeah. I think she's a tremendous player. She really helps them, makes everybody around them, opens up everybody, because you have to pay so much attention to her. And I'm not sure that they're not the best offensive team in the league. They give you a few chances on defense, so that you always got a chance. But scoring-wise, she's hard to stop.
It feels weird. I'm about to ask you this question, but I know we have the 2 non-conference games this week and next week. But Senior Day is Saturday, February the 12th, because of what the Sunbelt Conference has done. So Senior Day is going to be Saturday, February the 12th. I mean, we have a chance to honor the seniors, Kristen Vorns and the others, but it's kind of weird to even think about
Kristen
that.
Kristen get honored last year?
She might have, but she came back. Why not honor her again?
That's what I'm just sitting here thinking in my mind. I thought the same thing the other day. I thought, okay, do you re-honor a kid? Even though she's been a senior and been honored once, do you do it again? I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Why not?
Yeah, and, that's
But here's the other thing now, though, Coach, because some of these seniors, and I'm not, they still got a COVID year, right?
And Trey, before we go too far with that, I'm not sure we're not going to change senior night to Monday night.
Okay.
So we may do that. So let's don't get everybody too hyped yet. Let's see what – because we
I want them to be hyped for A-State.
I want to be focused on A-State and not senior night.
Okay, then I would change it if I were you.
I kind of have. So I didn't know you was going to start out with that.
Well, I didn't know. No one told me. I mean, yeah. Patrick sent us a text before the game. Make sure you talk about all the details. That was one that I didn't get.
I talked to Patrick a little bit about that today. So that's and I don't know. You don't ever know anymore. But that's kind of what I'm planning. But
you're the coach. You can plan whatever you want. We're going to go with it.
There's people above me. Sometimes I don't get what I want. So
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
What, Chris tells you no before?
Chris is good to me. She takes care of me in basketball. So. But one thing I will say, that Kristen did get some good news today. I don't know if she will or not, how it's going to work out. But, they didn't do surgery. They were said that let's see how it heals on its own. And it's starting to heal pretty good. And so they gave her a little chance that she might get to play that last 2 weeks.
Uh-oh.
So that'd be a big plus. I told her, she told me today, and I said, well, I'm not, you do what you want to do. I'm not going to pressure because I don't want to do that to a kid that's done what she's done. And she, Coach, I want to do this if I can. I said, well, that's up to you. I said, but I'd sure like to have more than 3 bodies sitting on the side.
Exactly. Your budget for knee braces has just gone up as well.
Exactly.
Because she's going to need 2 of them.
Exactly.
If she comes back.
Yeah.
Coach Joe Foley.
We probably wear more knee braces than any team in the country.
I think you do. You go through more Velcro. I know that. Joe Foley, the head coach of your Little Rock Trojans. We will be joined by the head coach, Darryl Walker of the Little Rock men after the break. It's the Little Rock Coaches Show live from the Embassy Suites in West Little Rock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Simmons Bank, for your support of Little Rock Trojans volleyball.
Women's track and field and cross country.
Women's golf.
Women's soccer.
Women's basketball.
Thank you, Simmons Bank, for your support of Little Rock Trojan women's swimming and diving.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
Welcome back to the Embassy Suites out in West Little Rock. It's the Little Rock Basketball Coaches Show. We're joined by the men's basketball head coach, Darryl Walker. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Real quick, I need to make this announcement. The Champion Christian game next Monday will be senior night for the women. Free admission for that game. And the game tomorrow night against Philander Smith will be free admission as well. If you are a season ticket holder, you can take your ticket to the game, just any unused ticket, to the game, and that will allow the ushers to know that this is the seat I normally sit in.
Okay.
So
well, come out and support them.
Yeah, for those of you out there that want to go watch some basketball and hadn't planned on it, but Tuesday night, tomorrow night, Philander Smith. And, Coach, y'all played Philander Smith earlier in the year.
Yeah,
Todd Day, their men's head coach.
Yeah,
that was a good game.
It was a really good basketball game. So hopefully, the girls give them another good game and they can get a win.
Unfortunately for the Trojans, they lost both home games this weekend. Louisiana won 75-51 on Thursday. And then another overtime game at the Jack Stevens Center. Louisiana Monroe winning 75-72 in overtime on Saturday at the Jack. Let's go back to Thursday night first, Coach. And I was looking at the box score because I didn't get to watch the game because of you moved it up. You had all the snow and ice. We even talked about it last Monday. Would you play? You did play.
We did play.
You moved it early, but how was that day handled?
Oh, it was crazy. I couldn't get out of my driveway because I live on a hill. So Coach Baker had to come pick me up. He has a big 4-wheel drive, and he came and picked me up. And it was icy all the way down, and I thought it was a chance that we may have to cancel the game, but we called Coach Marlin, called their athletic director George, did a great job of getting that game played, and we were able to play the game.
You say if both teams are there and you've got officials, you might as well play, right?
and we did. It was a good basketball game, and I just felt that if the rebound margin was 10 or less, that we would have a chance. If it was more than 10, 15, 20, that we were going to get beat. I think we were down 5 points at halftime. That's the biggest team in the conference. They're big like we were 2 years ago. We had a drought where we didn't score any points, so it was a good basketball game in the first half. And the first 5 or 6 minutes in the second half, we didn't play well, and the game got away from us.
24-19 at the half, like you said, a 5-point difference. And then the rebound margin, 41-18 in favor of Louisiana. But here's another stat that is really not a stat, but it needs to be told. Louisiana played 14 players.
We had 14 players. I had 7 players.
You played 8.
Yeah, 7 or 8 guys. That's what I had. So, it's been fun. Even though I don't like to lose, it's been fun coaching this team because these young kids now, Jordan Jefferson and DJ Smith are having a chance to play, and some other guys are having a chance to play. Myron Gardner's having a chance to really get some significant minutes right now, and hopefully that's going to pay off for us next year. But at the end of the day, that was a very big basketball team, and I said if we could stay within 10 with the rebound, then we would have a chance to win the game. And what would our rebound, about 20?
Yeah, it was 41-18, so 23.
Yeah, we got killed on the glass.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a very small basketball team. And if I thought we could just stay within 10, it could be a different story.
Is that really always a point of emphasis? If you can rebound the basketball, you're going to be able to stay in games?
Yeah, if you can rebound the basketball, that's you could do all the defending you want and guarding people, and the shot goes up and they get the offensive rebound. I mean, you've wasted 24 seconds, whatever it is, of guarding and get a putback or offensive rebound. Now you got to guard again. You must finish the play up defensively with a defensive rebound.
When you are having to play as small as you are because of the numbers that you have, what do you try to do defensively against teams that are bigger than you?
Just be solid. We have to be solid. We have to stick to all of our defensive principles. Right now, we're switching everything on the defensive side of the ball because it doesn't make any sense to try to guard anybody man-to-man, and that has been bothering some teams. We've done a good job with that. Our weak side defense is pretty good, and shockingly, we haven't been getting taken off the dribble like we were 10 games ago. We're keeping people in front of us. The key is we're having some bad scoring droughts, and we're not good enough. Our margin of error is very small because we're very short-handed. Our margin of error is really small. We have to score. We can't go 6-7 minutes without scoring. You're putting too much pressure on your defense.
When you see that, do you try to tell your guys it's time to drive to the basket, maybe get fouled to get to the free throw line and maybe get some easy shots?
I tell my guys to take the first good open shot they take because you may not get it again. You're talking about going off the dribble. We don't have a lot of guys that can go off the dribble. I mean, DJ can go off the dribble some, Myron can, and Jordan Jeffers, but everybody else are catch and shoot guys that really can't go off the dribble. So we try to take the best shot that we can take that's open for us.
The game against ULM, it's goes into overtime and another overtime game. And
shouldn't have got to overtime, but it did.
I'm there with you. I went back and watched that one. I was able to watch that one, but my goodness.
Shouldn't have got to overtime. And, it's interesting because Jordan Jefferson, I drew a play up for him, and he was wide open. Instead of just taking a wide open three, he put the ball on the floor and started dribbling. Luckily, he got fouled and was able to go to the line. So I went to him a couple of times in crunch time just to see what he was made of. He made some freshman mistakes, but that's going to happen when you're playing a freshman point guard.
The last play.
Everybody's
going to be talking about that. There it is again, a freshman point guard. Did he not know the situation? What do you think happened?
I told him very clearly, we got to get a three. I said, and you're going to be open. I said, Jovan, instead of screening his man, screen your man because they're going to try to switch it with your guy. If you screen your man, nobody's going to be there. He came off. He was wide open for a three. He put the ball on the court, on the floor, and went to the rim. I had to catch myself at mid-court because I was ready. And I just said, you know what? This kid's a freshman, man. And, we talked about it in film. But he was wide open for a shot.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's no better teaching tool than going back to the film.
Yeah, film.
And
I'm
showing
a big
them.
film guy. I'm a big film guy. I broke film down today. We were in film for about 30 minutes just showing the good things and the bad things that we can't do because we're shorthanded, easy baskets we can't give up. And we lost that game in overtime. We should have won that basketball game.
You out-rebounded ULM 34-26. They shot 20 of 22 at the free throw line, 91%. You guys were 17 of 20 in that game.
No, it was a good basketball game. I felt that we could win the game, and it just didn't go that way. We made some mistakes defensively, and then offensively we had some chance to close the gate, and we didn't get it done.
Do you feel like this team is starting to make improvements? Do you see that?
I think this team is really playing good basketball. It's just our margin of error is so small. Now, if we're healthy, our margin of error is like that. You can make some mistakes on the defensive end because you can come back down and probably get those 2 points back. We can't do that right now. I'm just trying to get us a couple of wins before we get down to Pensacola. And whenever we can get those wins, try to ride that into the tournament and go from there. We are guarding people. We are really playing good defensively. We just having scoring droughts.
Isaiah Palermo had a good game on Saturday, 7 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 3 behind the three-point line, perfect at the free throw line. 1 rebound away from a double-double, had 19 points, 9 rebounds.
Yeah, he's playing too many minutes. He's playing, I don't know, what did he play, 35?
He played 43 minutes and 6 seconds.
He's playing too many minutes. They're all playing too many minutes, but that's where we are right now. Only got 7 guys, and those are the guys who don't have to play. We went hard today in practice. We'll go hard tomorrow in practice. Wednesday, we won't do anything in practice, really, to be honest about it. Just be a lot of shooting, walk through and some stuff, and then get down there and open up against South Alabama, which I think we got a chance to win if we rebound the basketball and make some shots.
I was going to ask you, how do you handle practices and everything with the fact that you are short on numbers, and do you take some off of their legs at times?
No. We don't play the Thursday. You got 7 guys that's really playing minutes. So you got to keep their conditioning up because to me, you even got to do a little bit more conditioning. You don't want to at this time because they're going to be out there playing those minutes. So we went hard today, and John Barron ran those guys out to practice. We'll practice hard tomorrow. And Wednesday we'll just be massaging ourselves, going through some shots, going through some stuff offensively, defensively. Then we'll get on the plane and go down to Mobile, and then we'll help shoot around Thursday, and our legs will be ready for Thursday.
That trip, South Alabama and Troy, one of the teams that's playing really good basketball right now on top of the league.
Well, this league is a wide-open league. I knew it from the beginning. If we could have stayed healthy, we'd have been right in the mix to win it again. And it's just hard when you don't have a lot of players on your team. I think Coach Cross has done a great job down there, but South Alabama's a talented team. I've watched a lot of film on them. But don't be surprised if we could be right there in the game. Don't be shocked.
What do you know about the Jags?
Man, they got a lot of transfers. A lot of transfers from a lot of high major schools. They're a big-time one-on-one team. They got a lot of talented guys on their team. I think they're at their best when they're in transition. So it's going to be paramount that we get back in transition. And one thing you can't do, you can't have a high turnover game against this team because they're so good in the open court. We got to make sure we take care of the basketball and make them stay on the other end defensively.
The transfer portal, it just seems like that there are schools that will go into it religiously. I mean, they watch it every day. Is that something that we're just going to have to become accustomed to?
It's going to happen. South Alabama's been doing it hard for a long time, but they to be honest about not being funny, they haven't really had success with it because, everybody that transfers and gets their name in the portal is not a bad kid or a bad player. Maybe it's just not a good fit, or maybe it's not a good fit for the coach. But sometimes you go in that transfer portal, you're just taking somebody else's problem and bringing it to your team. So I'm real leery about the transfer portal to a certain extent. Now, I'm not saying I won't take a player, but I'm going to do super-duper homework on a guy before I take him in the transfer portal.
I was going to say because
I'm going to call all the coaches that I know about him,
right,
that's played against him and that have coached him.
But aren't the players also taking a risk because you can go in, you might not find a way out?
Well, that has happened to some of the players, but that's just the way it is now. It's just the wild, wild west to be. It's just wide open. Kids could average 30 minutes and leave. Kids could average 2 minutes and leave. Kids could be the leading scorer. Kids could never get in the game and transfer. So it's just the wild, wild west. And you'd be shocked at some of the prominent coaches that I've talked to the last couple of years about the transfer portal that are scared to coach the way they normally coach because they're worried about somebody transferring. I'm not changing who I am.
I was going to say, you're not that guy. You've
not.
had some of your guys go in.
I don't mean in a disrespectful way. I'm like Coach Foley. When you come in and tell me you transfer, it's not going to be a long conversation. I'm going to say, go see the compliance guy. Bye. I'm not mad at that player. That player wants to leave. That's fine. Coaches leave all the time taking other jobs. I got no problem with that. But you can't change who you are as a coach. You could be Bobby Knight. They're going to leave. You could be a nice guy, and you could be an in-between guy, and players are still going to leave. So you got to be who you are in your DNA as a coach.
You have to run your program the way you see fit.
You are. Yes, no doubt about it.
If you don't, you start losing them.
No, it's all losing. Then it's all over with. You're gonna be mad you didn't do it your way.
Exactly. He's Darryl Walker, head coach of the Little Rock men. They have a road trip this week, and of course next week. They're on the road as well. So back-to-back road trips for them. South Alabama first on Thursday, and then Troy on Saturday. We'll talk about those games after this. Stay with us.
It's time to expect more from yourself, from us, from the typical college experience. UA Little Rock offers world-class programs, including business, computer science, criminal justice, cybersecurity, engineering, and nursing. But there's so much more. Expect to be amazed by state-of-the-art facilities. Expect to be challenged by motivated faculty. And expect a welcome place in the heart of Arkansas. University of Arkansas at Little Rock.
Sport builds us up. It strengthens our bodies. It strengthens our resolve. Sport teaches us lessons of grace or humility or humanity, and that we're far more powerful together. Winning the hour or winning the year or winning our lives. We're winning our way. Because while a season is short, fierce is forever.
Welcome back to the Embassy Suites Little Rock Basketball Coaches Show. Embassy Suites Little Rock is in the business district and minutes from the campus of UA Little Rock. Embassy Suites is the official hotel of your Little Rock Trojans. Embassy Suites Little Rock, a great place to stay. He is Darryl Walker. I am Trey Schapp, and Coach Ray Tucker is going to fill in for me tomorrow night. My daughter made homecoming at Maumelle Charter, and since the game was not able to be played Friday, they moved it to Tuesday.
Okay.
I was even ready to fly back from Lafayette Friday morning to get there for that and everything. And
it's all messed
the ice, the weather had messed up a lot of things. So
it was bad. It was bad.
Ray Tucker's going to get to do 3 games this week.
Okay, well, good.
So
he's up for it.
He's up for it. He's up for it. We'll see how good he does. He might be calling me after the game saying, "I can't believe you had me do that, Schapp." But no, he's up for it. And Coach, you guys are going to hit the road on Wednesday. You play South Alabama Thursday night, 7 o'clock, and then Troy on Saturday, 4 o'clock. We talked about South Alabama a minute ago. What do we know about the Troy Trojans?
I know absolutely nothing about Troy because I'm not even focused on Troy right now. I watch them when you watch other games.
Right.
They got a very good big, and they got a lot of wing guys. And they're guarding and they playing well, and they play at a fast pace. They shoot a lot of people. Have I really watched any games with them? No.
Are you like Coach Foley, where you assign one assistant one team and another assistant the others?
Everybody has. It's a rotation. Everybody has a game, and right now I'm just locked in on the South Alabama. When South Alabama's over with it, my assistant coach will give me a folder and a file with everything that he's looked at and written down, and I'll look at it. We'll go from there.
The Mitchell Center in Mobile,
nice place.
Kind of an intimate
nice
setting.
Place. I like it. I like it a lot. It's a nice facility. It really is.
It's a lot better than Fant Ewing Coliseum in Monroe.
Well, I'm going to leave that alone. I won't be seeing that anymore, so I'm going to be quiet.
Well, you don't have to worry about the leaks in there that happened this weekend and all that.
That beautiful locker room. No, it'll be fine.
That beautiful locker room. Let's look at the Sunbelt Conference standings on the men's side. And you said, as we were talking off air during the break, Georgia State was picked to win the league, and they're down there in 10th place right now at 3-5.
I think you had Georgia State lose around Lafayette and South Al as the guys to really to win it, and App State has done a great job, and Coach Krause has done a great job, and Arkansas State is right there. So, and Texas State still has a chance right there. All they got to do is stay out that losing column and win the next 3 or 4 games, and they could be right in it.
It seems like they all have a chance. App State's 9-3. They are 75% on the conference win percentage. Troy 7-3, 70% win percentage. Arkansas State 6-3, tied with Texas State. Then you have South Alabama 5-5, Louisiana 5-6, along with UTA at 5-6. Then you have 2 schools at 4-6, Coastal and Georgia Southern, followed by Georgia State 3-5, ULM 4-8, and Little Rock down there at the bottom. But just 2-6, there can be a lot of shuffling with as many games as you guys have left.
There could be a lot of shuffling. I'm not even concerned about that. I'm concerned about us starting to win some basketball games so we get down to Pensacola, Florida. Because I'm looking at the standings right now, and I've played everybody except Arkansas State and South Alabama and Troy. I've played everybody else. So we're capable. But we have to play so well. Our margin of error would have to be so much better than what it is. But we're more than capable. Because all you got to do is win, 4 games, 5 games. What is it, 4?
Yep.
Win 4 games.
You win 4 games in a conference tournament,
and
you're champions, and you're heading to the NCAA tournament.
Anything's possible in 4 games.
It starts on a Thursday for the guys. You play Thursday, Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday. Can you discuss how much you guys look at the conference standings to try and see if you can get that bye? Or do you just play it out and then look later?
I'll just play it out. I think we're going to be playing one of the first games, early games. Don't know who we're going to be playing. Not concerned with that because at that time of the year, you've played everybody. You know what they can do and they know what you can do. It's about who's going to execute, who's going to take care of the basketball, and who's going to make some shots. That's what it comes down to all the time.
They say
App State ended with the same record that we had last year.
That's
they
right.
They just played well for 4 games in the tournament. They had the same record we had.
And they played really good in the tournament. And that's like you said. I mean, if your team can catch fire
at the right time, that's all it takes.
Because it's a one-bid league.
It's a one-bid league, and hopefully by that time we could get Nicola back, get the big fella back. Only thing is, you get him back, he's still going to be out of shape. He's going to be winded, and his timing is going to be off. His hamstring is messed up again. It's just been an unbelievable year to lose 100 and something games from injuries from your players. I've never basketball's given me everything that I have in my life, and I've never ever seen anything like this.
I believe
nothing.
I believe Saturday was the 13th different starting lineup that you've put out there this season.
Yeah, it's hard to get any continuity, any rhythm with your team. It's just hard.
You play South Alabama on the road, Troy on the road. We'll talk about UT Arlington and Texas State next week before you come back home. But how do you handle the 2 weeks on the road? Any different than just take it week to week?
You take it week to week. That's why I wanted to steal a few games. I shouldn't even say steal. That's why I wanted to win a few games at home if we went on the road because I knew we had this road trip coming up. But maybe that's what we need is to go on the road and play. We played well at Coastal and just went on a drought. Played well at App, was down 5 with 5 minutes left in the game and went on a 5-minute scoring drought, and they won the basketball game. So we've been there. Even at the Louisiana Monroe game, it was 64-64. before it went to overtime. So we are guarding people. That's not the key. We got to learn to be consistently scoring that basketball.
And when you consistently score and you can
it energizes you
get in that rhythm,
yes.
It seems like to me that energizes you on the defensive end as
big
well.
Big time for us. Big time when we can score. But you can't go 5 minutes and I just got to keep coming down and guarding you. Play after play after play after play. And I keep missing. I think it was the Coastal Carolina game. We missed 13 straight shots.
Early in that game.
We were in the game.
You were leading the game.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And then you come down and you have that scoring
drought.
Do that.
You can't do that. You know, you got a lot of guys that's on the bench that can score that's not around.
Basketball is a game of runs.
It is at every level. And I'm really proud of this team because they've played hard. There's no quit in them. We're shorthanded. Like I said, the Lafayette game, if we would have stayed within 10, I thought we had a chance to win the game. We got out-rebounded about 23, and then we just made some dumb plays down the stretch against Monroe. But I still feel good about this team. I know we're shorthanded.
But as you said, you feel like the guys are starting to maybe turn a corner. They're playing hard for you.
Not saying it in the win column, but right. I can see it with my team. I know my team. If they've played hard the whole year, they've probably been frustrated because we've had so many injuries, so many guys in and out of the lineup. It's just been one of those crazy, just COVID. It's just been a lot of things went on this year.
And let's say this, not only does it hurt you in a game, it also hurts in practice too.
Can't do it. We're 4-on-4, 3-on-3 today in practice, and we went at it pretty hard. Went over some South Alabama stuff live, and going to do some of their stuff tomorrow live, and that's about it. Coach Hodge going to have to get taped up tomorrow.
I was going to say, I know you're not going to get out there.
It's going to be Coach Hodge got to get taped up tomorrow.
He's Darryl Walker. They're going to hit the road this week, but he will be back here next Tuesday, Coach. Mm-hmm. We got a Tuesday broadcast because of the women's game on Thanksgiving night. So have a nice Thanksgiving night, Valentine's night.
Yeah.
Golly, what am I thinking?
My wife don't want to hear anything about Thanksgiving. She don't do any cooking right now.
No. He's Darryl Walker. I'm Trey Shapp. Join us next Tuesday. Get out to the Jack tomorrow. Free admission on Monday as well. Enjoy the week, everybody, and go Trojans.